BK Posse. This is my new channel called Offensive Science Videos, and I'm going to take real concepts in science and talk about them in an offensive way, not to discredit or twist, but to educate, and basically sort of with the idea behind it that evolutionary time, genetics, those things don't give a fuck about your feelings, right? We are a blip on the earth. For example, for climate change, people are always upset. They say the world is going to be destroyed by climate change. No, the world's not going to be destroyed by climate change. Human beings will probably be destroyed by climate change, but even more painful, probably only white people, because not having melanin will probably make it harder to survive with the changes that are going to happen with it. And it's going to happen. And, instead of trying to stop it, we need to try to engineer structures to protect us from it. And one of the structures to protect us from it is to stop fucking and having kids, because that makes it harder for us to make contained structures for a certain amount of people. And that's just an example of an offensive thing to say along the lines of science. This video, my background in science is I was a science journalism major with a concentration in genetics. I'm also a computer programmer who worked with DoD contractors on looking at the creation of new programming languages based on the sequence of DNA rather than binary numbers. And I also worked at Booz Allen Hamilton. I'm covering my name there. But there you go, same place at Edward Snowden. And this relates to the first video I'm going to make. It's how to keep yourself from being doxxed. There's two ways to keep yourself from being doxxed. They're a little bit uncomfortable, but science is always uncomfortable, right? And part of science is patterns, right? Behavioral patterns. And in fact, if you want to talk about evolution, often they are finding that often genetics has changed because of behavioral patterns. Flamingos poop on their legs to keep their legs cool. And that is an evolutionary function that has, come out of learned behavior, scientists believe. So learned behavior, doxing is one evolution in the internet, in our time as human beings, in our relationships. And so learning how to fight it is another part of the evolution. There's two ways to fight it. I will tell you as a cybersecurity expert. Sign up at homeless shelters, not just one but many. Register as homeless. Number two, get all your financial accounts online, right? Or use products like Ace Check Cashing, which is a prepaid debit card that's attached to a savings account and things like that. It's a very good product. The reason is for, I'll give you the reasons for this. I'm not the best extemporaneous speaker, so I'm also doing this for that reason. The reason that you want to register at homeless shelters is because, first of all, it discourages people. When they see where the address is, it will usually come up in Google or Apple Maps as a homeless shelter, right? Then you don't seem like a very viable people. And we all know that we don't know how viable people are on YouTube, no matter who they are. So that's a way to sort of confuse people. And if you do it at several homeless shelters, they're going to be confused. Now, homeless shelters get money from the number of people who are actually signed up for. There's a way to do this. Many homeless shelters have people come in the afternoon to sign up, and then they have people stay there at night. They do not remove the list of people who sign up in the afternoon because they most of them they misrepresent the number of people staying there. And there's also a compassionate reason for that, because they want people who have signed up to be able to, who maybe have fear about staying there, to take some time to think about it. And so you can sign up too. It's not the most pleasant thing, but it directs your mail and stuff to a certain place. And many homeless shelters have a way where you can get your mail away from your home with another agency. And it's a free way to do that. I'm registered at 4 homeless shelters specifically for that, to keep people from doxing me. And it's something that has happened to me, and I was actually attacked because of it. People thought I was a Muslim who had infiltrated Booz Allen Hamilton. People today, and it was something that people had posted online. The second way to do this is that you, and I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm in the hospital. The second way to keep yourself from being doxxed is to use services like Regis or ServCorp offices and get all your mail sent from there. Or a post office box, because when you use a Regis or ServCorp office, which if you're going to be serious about starting some sort of online presence, I would really advise, in Canada, you must rent one of those things because they want to keep scams from happening. They want to know that you're renting an office. And so everything's going to be attached to your Regis office. And then, Regis offices or ServCorp offices are in secure buildings. So when people are going to try to do stuff, they're going to have to deal with security. And if you're calling police from your home about something that happened, they're going to be less responsive than if a security guard at a building is calling about something. And also, people are going to do things that are far more public, and the idiots are going to show themselves as idiots. People have shown up. People I know who rent ServCorp in Washington, D.C., they've showed outside to protest, right, or make threats, and they don't realize that it's an office. You just use the address. So if you use a P.O. box, they can usually figure out that you have another address, and we'll try to find it. But you can use a Regis address. The post office doesn't really differentiate too much, so you can use it as a sort of home address, and many of these buildings have condos in them as well as offices, so it confuses people. Those are the two best ways of keeping yourself from being doxxed. And, liking talking about the truth about science, the first one isn't extremely uncomfortable, but is the absolute most effective. And it's actually a tactic used in, telling you from Booz, Allen Hamilton, it's a tactic used in intelligence. Many times people who are in intelligence and they want to get a beachhead into a particular community, and they also want to present themselves a certain way to a group that they are investigating, they stay at a homeless shelter. Like an FBI agent will stay at a homeless shelter, and then by doing that, you can present yourself as a disgruntled individual to a group that may be involved in terrorism. So this is a tactic that's used throughout intelligence. Maybe I'll make some other videos about cybersecurity tactics, about how to protect yourself. But this is the first video, and this is offensive science video.